Hello, this is Cherry Heart 3, the Word of God and the Prophetic. Remember when Abraham went to Egypt, him and Sarah, to get some food because they were having a famine in their land. So when Pharaoh saw Sarah, he thought that she was a pretty woman. And so some of the men went and got her and gave it to Pharaoh because Abraham said that was his sister. And then Egypt, the people began to be plagued. And so when the Pharaoh came back to tell Abraham, what has he done? He said, you said that was your sister. I was getting ready to take her for my wife. But see, I'm saying this because there was a person, we were texting internet, and he was just saying that, oh, God doesn't do incest, allow incest, and that was a sin, and Sarah and Abraham was not brothers and sisters. He just said that, okay, so possibly he told a lie, but then again, he didn't. But during the time of Lot, when there was no, it was just his daughters had to get pregnant by him, and the same with Adam and Eve and their children's children, and they did that. It was legal because God said to be fruitful and multiply. But then during the time of Moses, that it was enough people on the land. But God is so, when it comes to his servants, especially anointed men, when you're doing what you're supposed to, you cannot fool around and mess with them, or you will get in trouble, even if you're innocent. What really, and I've read this before, now, Abraham, after Pharaoh sent Abraham away and said, here, take your things and go. My men and women, they're plagued. Okay, so Abraham ended up going to Gerar, Gerar. This is Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister, and Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to, this to say it says Abimelech, in a dream by night. And so the land of Gerar, Gerar, they were righteous people. So he tended to do the right thing. So he took Sarah for wife. But Abimelech, God came to him in a dream and said to him, behold, thou art but a dead man. For the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? See, when you mess with, it's more than one person that God will mess with your generation. Said he not unto me, she is my sister. So what did I do wrong? He said that was my sister. And she even herself said that he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart. For I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Now look, he took Sarah as his wife. He could have been intimate with her. But sometimes on some occasions, for some reason, it didn't happen. I don't know if he was tired. But God did this. He allowed him not to be intimate with her. And if he had, he would have been dead. I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet. Abraham is a prophet. Give him back his wife, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Out of innocency. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said to him, what hast thou done unto us, and what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. I shouldn't be going in this position because of you. You said that was your sister. And Abraham said, because I thought surely the fear of God is not in this place. See, Abraham didn't know that that was a righteous place. And they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet, indeed, she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children. God had stopped their wombs where they couldn't even bear children, even from his own wife. For the Lord has fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Then that's something how a lot of times we do things innocent, out of innocence. A lot of times we don't know, but God allowed things to happen where a sin won't take place, even if we're unaware, because a lot of people lie. And God would have killed this man, but God allowed an escape. God came to him in a dream and told him, but God had reframed him, and maybe he was just not in the mood of being intimate at the time, but God intervened. And God even said, I knew you was innocent. So he could not even have, even though he gave Abraham's wife back, he was still under the plague. Abraham had to pray for him, but Abraham kind of sort of, he told the truth, but he wasn't clear. He kind of fibbed a little bit, but then he still told the truth. But there are people who will argue that Abraham and Sarah was not brothers and sisters, like real brothers and sisters, and God would not do that. But that happened. Is it unclear that if it's the same mother and father, brothers and sisters, they're not to marry? But what about half? It's better not to. And I wanted just to point this out, because on conversations you can only give so many scriptures, but that was proof that they were brothers and sisters, because out of Abraham's mouth, because they say, oh, Abraham just said that because he was just lying, but he says, yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And this is found in Genesis chapter 20, verse 12. For those who do not believe that Abraham and Sarah was real brothers and sisters.